This is. So did you drop back to Columbia?
How's it, Jared?
And then I was back here today. Wow. And this is
Jared.
Hey, Jared.
Sorry for interrupting.
How you doing?
How's it, guys?
Hey, Jared.
How's it, guys?
You want to come around here and we can show you the drawings?
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Jared. I'm Ken Batch.
My dining room table.
There you go. We got it.
Cool.
That's pretty nice. What do you eat? What are you having?
Chicken. You can explain Nando's to them.
Yeah, Nando's is the best chicken in the world. But I'll explain it later.
You tell us about that later. That's awesome.
Okay. Jared, we're just going to have a quick run through on the drawings there. And Ken's here on a Saturday. He's pulling some long hours to get us ready for submission on the 26th of February. So.
Yep. And basically, let me tell you what we've done. Basically, we had a series of loft units that had spiral stairs. The spiral stairs don't work particularly well in terms of getting furniture and having removable railings and all those sorts of things. So what we did is we basically took the spiral stairs out and we put in simple channel stairs with open stringers to get up to the lofts. And when we did that, it had to change the floor plan because we had to have a little more actual footage and square footage footprint with the stairs versus the spiral stair. But spiral stair logistically would be a nightmare to get into the building and get it stacked in there. We can bring this thing and stick building inside.
Constructability and maintenance and stuff like that.
Correct. Okay. So what we did is we basically changed those units. And when we changed those units, all the units below them stacks, we took all those units and redesigned them coming all the way down through the building. So that everything stacks, all the plumbing stacks, keeps everything efficient. The next thing we had to do is that the state of South Carolina just changed the handicapped accessibility code. They used to require a 5-foot turning radius. Now the radius is 5'7". And then the previous architect really didn't have all of the units were not ADA accessible. So the code requires to have 12 accessible units based on the number of units you have that have grab bars and fold down seats and all the handicap paraphernalia. Okay. But all of the other units have to have the dimensions and blocking in the wall so you can adapt them at a later date. Second thing we didn't have in the units, they call for a 30-inch wide work surface. So you have to have a removable cabinet that comes out so that you can have an accessible work surface for ADA. All the units either have to have it in, the 12 units that we have, all the other units have to have a place where you can remove the cabinet. That wasn't in the drawings. So we've tried to clean all of those things up. And these are examples of what we started with. Here are the units. I don't know if you can see.
I'll send you some pics, Jared.
So yeah, if you can look at, this is what the unit looked like, and then we did all these little sketches over the top of them to make them all work.
Okay.
Okay. And this shows, again, you can see the spiral stair here. We didn't have the ADA clearance here at all. And so what we had to do is go back. We got the stair in there. Now we have the ADA clearance to go through that.
Okay, so it's a little bit wider. Do you have these on electronic format?
I do.
Okay.
I've got.
Okay, great.
We're still making tweaks, but by and large, we'll get you new floor plans so that you can see what's going on.
And what we're trying to do is,
Jared, we didn't hear what you said. Sorry. No, we're not hearing you, bro.
Jared, you're muted, I think.
Showing you is muted.
Are you muted?
No, he's not muted anymore.
This is Skype.
This is the
Jared?
That will be better. Can you hear me?
Much better.
There we go.
Perfect, guys. What I had was when we looked at a review internally of the actual drawings. There were lots of places where there could have been lots of savings in terms of side access through and changing of doorways to make some more closet space. None of that was optimized in any of the drawings that the previous architect had worked on. And I'm hoping that when you're looking at them, you're having a new critical eye to look at the accessibility of closets and doorways, because the way that it was worked, if you just move the doorway to a different position, you can gain another extra footage of cupboards in the bedrooms, etc.
Exactly. And I think that we've done that. I'm certainly willing to have somebody look at these and help us put things. What we did, you know this, is that these drawings were the first pass, the first step in the process. The next step in the process was to convert them into working drawings, into the working drawing sheets. And I've got an example of that here too. So basically we did those freehand sketches. And then we basically, that basically laid everything out. And then this is what we're doing in terms of all of the dimensions, the wall types, the coordination of the location of appliances with the work counters and all the kinds of things that were not in the plans originally. The other thing we try to do is that in some cases the bedrooms were bigger than the living rooms, and we try to make sure we optimize that living space, have decent space in the bedrooms, but we try to make sure that they were done. We also tweaked the dimensions. Some of these dimensions in here had living room much smaller and these 2 bedrooms bigger, and we try to get a little more space in the living room. So we worked through all those things. The closets were not standard sizes. We try to keep all the closets standard sizes and maximize them. Some of them were much smaller. In a lot of cases, the laundries were not located near the chases, and we're trying to, again, keep the cost down so the chase from the dryer goes into the chase immediately and goes straight up. In other cases, they were flipped around in different locations. So we tried to standardize all of those kinds of things.
What have you done for, because obviously it's a centralized corridor in some places, what have you done to maximize the availability of A, light, and B, ventilation, in terms of the initial drawings of the loft units where they were pushed forward and you had a weird situation with the loft area, and I'm hoping we've addressed that to push it right back to create a no double volume in the second bedroom. That was a disaster.
Yeah, exactly. Let me show you one other thing that we did too. Let me go back. Let me just take a step back. That other drawing that I showed you was the first pass. We matched all the dimensions. This is what the drawings look like now. All those corrections that you saw on this sheet.
That's the finished one now.
This is the finished drawing.
Okay.
And we're kind of midstream in getting all those drawings cleaned up and corrected.
So did you move the loft spaces? I don't see them here.
So
these do not have lofts.
Changed pretty significantly, and I think it's worth just running through a typical B1 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So that's what happened with those units. So
some of the big issues with the way that the loft configuration was done is that the second bedroom had no natural ventilation and no light. It was artificially lit with no windows and no ventilation. I was a bit concerned about that.
Okay, here is the A1 unit.
Let's look at a 2-bedroom for that.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's see. Let's go to B units. All right, here's a B1. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay, so this is what we've turned that unit into. And this is a very difficult unit to see, but the way this is set up. Let's see, living room below. This is the HVAC room. Here is the loft. So this bedroom is open below, open up to the structure, open to the window. The interior bedroom is also open up to the structure. It doesn't have natural light though, because it's at the front of the unit.
Yeah, it still doesn't have natural light.
But you can't have both.
Yeah.
Now let me show you a cleaner version. This is the first pass.
Okay.
The B1 units, this is where we've got these things done. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. If you can see this.
Okay, I'm going to send you a pic of that as well.
Let me pull them together for you.
So is this the finished one of the sketch that you just showed me?
Correct.
Yeah, and it doesn't have all the dimensions and stuff, but it's just a clean view.
Yeah, it's a clean view, so you can see the flow.
You can see before and after. You lose a lot of corners and jogs in the walls and stuff like that. It's just a much
easier flow.
It's a simpler unit.
This jogs, this jogs, this jogs, this jogs, this jogs, this jogs. And what we've done
is just straight through.
Just straight through.
Well, what you did is you end up flipping the living room and the bedroom so that when you open the door, you get all the light from the living room coming in
all the way here.
It's a straight shot, so you've got line of sight from one to the other, as opposed to maneuvering around walls that have no reason to exist.
So, Jared, can you see that on the screen there a little bit better?
So
I've got it I've got it here.
Okay, cool.
Got it. Cool. And so what we're doing is that we're basically having a straight shot from the entry of the unit through the kitchen all the way out, and the living area now is really.
Well, now you're going to get natural light all the way through, even though you've got a deep unit. What have you been able to do to maximize the columns in terms of making sure that we're putting drywalling as far apart from those, so that you don't have these columns in the middle of bedrooms, etc. So we're trying to maximize for that.
Yeah.
Because if I look at your B1A now, if I look in that back bedroom, is that column inside the room?
It is. And there's not a whole lot. I mean, I've taken these units and flipped them both ways in every case to see where we can maximize it. In some cases, columns are going to fall there. But we try to make sure there's at least a way to lay the furniture out in that room to do what we can do.
And what's your dimension here? Is what, 7 inches?
Yeah, we've kept all of the walls off of the columns as much as we can. We tried to, accentuate the columns in the spaces because they're a neat feature, but we've just tried to lay everything out so that, for example, this bedroom, you've got plenty of room in the bedroom. The bedroom now is actually it's about 13 and a half by about 10.
You got 130 square feet in the bedroom.
So that column's not going to impact it very much.
The column's like a 10-inch column.
How far back? So if you're putting a bed there, how far away is the bed from the column? Is there still space to walk around it?
Yeah. It depends, again, on the size of the bed too.
A normal queen size bed.
Queen size bed, yeah. You should be able to get it in there and have space on both sides of the bed because you've got a 10-foot wall.
Well, and
the cupboards are in front, so it's not next to the bed, so there should be enough space there.
I mean, you could lay out the bed this way. You could lay out the bed this way. You probably would have tough, if you have twins or something, you might lay them out this way, but you'll be able to work through that. A couple different layouts. In most of these cases, there are a couple of different ways you can lay everything out to make it work. And what I did is I looked at if you flip this the other way, then we start having interference with the columns into the other spaces.
And then the loft is the loft in the front here now, not at the back.
Here's the entry. Here's the entry to the unit.
Yeah.
And the loft is
in the middle.
Is in the middle. And the other problem that we had with the original drawings is the lofts in some cases were shown too large.
Okay.
The code only allows you to have an open space. The loft has to be no more than 33% of the open area of the floor.
Of the floor area.
Yeah, correct.
I remember that.
So they had lofts that are larger, so we try to consolidate those, and we tried to make them so the spaces work, but we're trying to keep as much volume in the living areas in the front bedroom so that they have large volume of space and push
overlook. Sorry.
Yeah. So walk me through this. You've got a bedroom right here. Okay. So the old plan was to drywall the ceiling so that somebody in the loft can't look down into the bedroom. What
we did here is we just took this wall of the structure. So this bedroom is all open and open to everything. So you're not going to get natural light, but you'll be open in
it'll be much higher ceilings.
Much higher ceilings, and you see the wood exposed ceilings and all that sort of stuff in the front bedroom wherever we could. And then what we did is we took and opened up this area. This area is a balcony railing.
So that's a balcony overlooking into the lounge,
living room,
and then it's closed at the back.
Closed to the back.
Okay, I'm with
so you can't look from here down.
So it also gets all the natural light from the front windows into that loft area.
Yeah. Correct.
And
that's great.
That should help with ventilation too, right?
Mm-hmm. This should help with ventilation.
You're not worried about how are we? And this is probably an MEP question, but how are we running ductwork underneath the loft? Because where the loft is, you've got an 8-foot ceiling, right? So it's not.
Yeah, we talked about that. We have a mechanical unit here, which allows us to come out and feed both ways.
Okay.
We're working through that with the mechanical engineers, making sure that we've got a nice design. In the lower level units, because you've got the high ceiling, it's not a problem. You run the duct up high, nice spiral duct, done deal. We're working through that with the engineers here, and believe they create a third space to get where we need to get. But in most cases, we're going to keep it high
above the subfloor.
How big is the floor?
Well, what we're doing here, this floor is 10 feet 2 inches above the main floor. The ceiling below is at 9 foot.
So you've got a foot that you can run in the ceiling itself.
Well, the problem is, though, is you probably have wood joists or some sort of wood framing running across the unit. So in order to get the kitchen exhaust, we're dropping a soffit just below the cabinets and running. And now, before the kitchen was over here and this, that, and the other, and you had to jog over.
Yeah.
Now we're just taking the exhaust and straight soffit over the closet, over the
All the way to
closet,
the chase,
to the
it's straight
chase.
Okay,
shot,
so it's
yeah.
a little bit hidden through the kitchen stuff.
Yeah,
No, but it's nice because now you can have as a feature above the cabinetry as call it a bulkhead.
A soffit.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So that soffit cleans all that up.
Are you happy with that, Jared?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
It's actually a shorter run, so you're using less material
As well.
across 300 units.
Makes a difference.
It does.
And not having all those outside corners and all those corners is going to speed up the layout. It's going to have not so much corner work to be done. It's just going to save a lot on the money and the cost of the unit. Units much cleaner lines, easier to lay out furniture, easier to put artwork on the walls. It's just a whole lot better way.
What I was telling Jim yesterday when we were here, I was involved in a project where the corner beads, it was just a sloppy install, and so we had warranty work for 10 months, because corner beads were just popping loose. So I'm sensitive to corners because they were a pain in my ass for a year, and the fewer you have, the fewer you have to deal with.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's faster, it's cheaper, it's
And also,
better
if you're zigzagging into the house every time you arrive, you just get frustrated.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
Okay. So we think these units have been cleaned up. We've addressed the 88 units. You should look at the units. Some of the units had smaller entry closets. We made all the entry closets a standard size of 5 foot 4 inches clear inside. We've opened up doors, double doors in them, so it's easy to get into them.
The closet space, is it typical American closets where it's just the little shelf at the top and no that little wireframe shelf, or is it actually wood shelving with a hanging rack, or what
We can do it either way. It's up to whatever you tell us you want to specify.
Yeah, I don't think we expect that. You typically have, with these closets, you'll probably have a combination of both. You'll have a hang rack with wire shelf. I don't think we'll use millwork or anything like that. But
It's a cost issue, so whatever way you want goes fine.
Well, the market's acceptable of that. And then the bathrooms, is it a shower, toilet combo? Oh no, there's the bath.
Yeah, it has a tub here. We have a few units that have a roll-in shower. The good thing about it is that you can take, if you want to take the tub out, the roll-in shower if it's the same dimension. So just make it a roll-in shower.
So it's only the tub. There's no other shower.
In this
it's
unit,
a combo.
no.
Yeah.
How many units do we have a tub and shower combo separate?
We do not have any units that have a tub and a shower together. We just have, you can take a shower in the tub with a curtain rod, obviously.
Yeah.
But we don't have any units that have a shower and a tub in the same unit.
But what you should be looking for, guys, is that there's nice now shower in tub combos, which don't have that old shower curtain. They've got a glazed divider, and it's nice and neat, and it's a built-in unit that you just drop in. Imported now into the US, obviously manufactured in China, but it's just, and on the volume that we're doing, I think we should look for something that's slick, because gone are the days where guys are bathing.
Got it.
Yeah. So one, I think having a shower is much preferable to having a bath. People just don't bath unless they're bathing small kids or something like that.
Agreed.
It was, so we talked it through with the management company, and they said, well, what people care about is what it looks like, right? So they'll accept a tub shower, but you better have tile surrounds. You need to.
But it's not only tile surrounds, Charles. Is that shower curtain is disgusting. It's 1987.
I'm with you on glazing.
You get such a beautiful detail where it feels like a shower, except it's a step into a bath.
So the basic difference.
So you get the best of both worlds.
Doors, really.
Yeah.
Glass doors.
Glass doors, yeah.
And it's just it'll ultimately come down to a cost issue. Is how much do the doors cost? We can do it.
Jared, are you saying something like that?
Well, that's an expensive one of them, yes, but that's pretty much what it is. But that's over the top, boy. That's got a steam shower and a.
Jared, I get it. I'm just saying that we want something nice. We don't want something that looks like it's the comfort suites bath.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
But that what you're showing, Brendan, is not on when you're buying 303 of them isn't astronomical.
No, it's not astronomical. If we're bringing them in from China or something like that, it's not astronomical, and it definitely needs.
And the value proposition of having that with the music, steam shower, variable timing on the valve, on the power, and where it shoots you, and you can get it on your bum, on your back, on your head. People appreciate the additional. No, it sounds facetious, but it's the small things that are worth spending some of the money.
Agreed. Yep.
People don't want bath. What did you call it? Comfort suites.
Yeah.
Comfort Inn and Suites, yeah.
Comfort Inn and Suites.
I don't want the Comfort Inn and Suites bath shower, please. It's disgusting.
It's a freaking good thing to do, right?
But if we don't talk about it now, we won't leave enough room for it. We should get those dimensions. Let's make sure that we apply that there's enough dimension available to install one of those things.
Well, and these are pretty big tubs, right?
They're 5 foot tubs. Yeah. And 30 inches deep in width. We did that because of the ADA again, and also to try to just save them a little bit of money.
Yeah. So I think we'll have plenty of room to figure that out.
And in terms of
Beautiful.
I mean, we got to work out the numbers of units. How many have you allocated showers, or if you just made the space available? It's that size, and we've got to work with it.
Brendan, every single unit has got a bath at the moment.
Yeah, I know. That scared the daylights out of me.
Well, right. Yeah, that's correct. Except we've got about like 8 of them that have a roll-in shower. It's a very easy thing, though, to make a quick change and make it a roll-in shower. The only thing we need to do, though, is we're pouring a slab on top of the wood subflooring. What I would recommend, too, though, if we do have a shower and not put a curb in there, just have basically a shower. It's a roll-in shower. You come in, you have a place, you pour the slab around it, and you can put a setting bed in there and slope everything to the drain. That's what I did in my shower at my house, and it just works great. You don't have a curb into the shower.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's beach entry, it's called.
Beach entry.
Is that what it's called? I love learning some new stuff from you. That's pretty damn cool.
That's usually what happens when you spend time with Jared.
I love it, man. I'm taking notes now. I'm going to class now. Is that a good thing?
It's fantastic, man.
So
I think that you've done a fantastic job. What I would really think that I would like to do is if you could just pop into the Dropbox what you've done now, even if they're the hand sketches. What we can do is, and I really appreciate that you're prepared to let us just have a quick look at it, because what we've found is that if we can make 1 or 2 changes, it's the same change on every single unit type. So we already looked at the first drawings, but I think there's been significant changes that I don't even want to go through those changes with you. I'd prefer you to just upload one type of each, and we can just look at, see if there's 1 or 2 tweaks that would make sense for everybody and make sense from our side. I mean, South African architecture is totally different to US architecture, and you can feel free to tell me sex and travel, and Brendan will explain that to you.
Well, I can tell about American architecture, but you can tell me about how to make the damn inside of the units work, and we'll make a good team.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think that, the American architecture sometimes has been quite staid in terms of progress over the last 20 years, and European and South African architecture and Asian architecture has changed to make smaller spaces more versatile. And we've adopted some of those changes in South Africa, which we're happy to share with you. And maybe we make 1 or 2 tweaks that doesn't make it too different from the norm, because people are scared of change. But 1 or 2 small changes may be just what the project needs.
Well, this is a pretty progressive town in this city here, and they're really open to other kinds of things. You might show Jared, here's some of the projects that we've done.
I'll send you a couple of pics from behind. There's some really nice buildings here.
So we used to do high-end buildings for us, and we really want to make it really cool. So you tell us what your thoughts are, and we'll make it.
Jared, one thing I want to talk about with you on the phone now is the central corridor space. Mm-hmm. What are you doing in that?
Yes. Okay. So maybe let me just talk about what we've noticed. Long, straight, short corridors are terrible. Mm-hmm. It feels prison, mental institution. You can choose whatever you like. And what we've really found that works nicely is if at each door you have a different offset. So it almost creates like an alcove just before the door entryway. And then you get a little bit of movement in the corridor which is still the exact same long, thin corridor that you would have put anyway, with the same fire code, except you have a little bit of movement on each side of the doorway, which is offset to each other, where you can put a little planter, or you can make it some interest, where now when you get in there, it doesn't feel like you're walking into the prison. You can make some real kind of beautiful movement within the standard architecture.
What has been done on this is in each end of the west mill and the east mill, they have taken and created a recess and put a skylight in.
Yeah.
And that's what has been done to date. The other thing I think would be really effective in the corridor would be trying to look at the lighting of the corridor and how we treat the lighting, because the lighting can have a big impact on how they impact.
Yeah, because I was going
to
say you have, you can take
the way that
shape your space through light. The other thing you can do is texture. You can change the finishes through each door. So even though you've got a long straight wall,
but Charles, if you can imagine that if the doors face each other like this, and now you just do that. So by switching your units and mirroring them like your left and right hand, which what you're saying you're doing to maximize the column impact on the project, you can also create the kind of movement. And if you just slightly offset it, and even if you do it by, I know how to talk in bricks, which is 110, which is one brick out, two drywall. I don't know what the dimension is, but if you just slightly set the doorway in, and then they offset from each other, now when you look down the corridor, it doesn't give you that prison feel.
Yeah, you don't want to look down,
a straight
football field. And that's where having lights offset from each other helps shape the space a little bit differently. Having the doors offset, you can do a lot of things to.
But you can slightly, if you look at a corridor and you just draw it on a piece of paper, if you just create a little alcove, on each side, which are offset from each other. So if you draw two straight lines and now you start to take the bump over it and you just offset it slightly on the entryway, and exactly what you're drawing there. Now when you look down, and it's tiny, it can be.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but it's this much, man. Yeah. But now when you read that, it doesn't read the same.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because the lighting now isn't different heights. The lighting can be on the inside of those insets. And now the lighting that you're going to create is going to create different channel, different lighting, different shades. Now when you feel that, it doesn't feel like a corridor.
Okay, beautiful.
And
lighting in each corner, for example, of those offsets, it's going to look stunning.
Now, what we've got drawn currently, though, is just like you see, it's just a straight shot.
Yeah, it's just a straight shot. So if you look straight down that corridor at the moment,
and then you have these.
That's why we're making it. That's why we're making a comment.
I'm gonna have to do some work in here. I can do that. I just got to figure out how to do the best way.
Even if you lose square footage of the unit, you're going to lose 1 square foot of unit, but you're going to create 20% better feel in the common area.
Let me ask you this: what is the width we can? I mean, I'd rather keep the units like they are and just take it out.
And just take it into the corridor.
Yeah,
better.
It's only provided it's provided you comply with fire and handicap.
But Jared, it's really, really easy to do. All we do is we do a double section of drywall on the one side of the door. So
it's not enough, Brendan. You need to take it out. Look
at how much. By that much. Yeah. But
you're taking it out.
I'm with you.
Beyond the wall of the unit.
Yeah. So if you, where's the door here? I'm not going to draw on your door.
That's okay. Well, the door is, let's say it's right there.
Yeah. So all you do is on this side, you do a double section of drywall, and then on this side,
but Brendan,
stagger it on that side. Yeah.
You're also staggering the doors like this. Look, so they don't, because normally when you go down a passage and they're mirrored.
Yes.
All the doors are directly. The other thing is when you walk out of your door, you're now not looking straight into your neighbor's door, which is a huge thing as well.
Absolutely. Great suggestion. Yeah, I can make that work. I need to come up with a couple of different ideas to solve that problem, and I can share them with you. We'll go from there. But I need to be thinking.
Beautiful. So
I can make that work.
So what I think we should do, and it's not for now, but I think we should definitely send over the drawings and then spend an hour just having a chat, just with ideas. We're not going to tell you do this. We're going to say our ideas of making it better is this, and then you can say I love it. I'm going to go work that up, and I'm going to take what you get from the creative working session. And then if 3 of the things land up in our drawings, I'll be over the moon. If not land up in our drawings, you learn something, and
absolutely,
you get to say it was a great experience to collaborate with a South African architect.
We love that. That's awesome. I love it, man. And so what we're doing right now, we're cleaning up all these units because we've had a couple of sessions over a couple of days. I'm going to clean up all the units. As soon as we do that, then I'll send you a whole set. I'll send everybody a whole set.
So you just want the clean ones of the units themselves, Jared? We don't
Absolutely.
need to
clean ones, and I want clean ones of each unit type, and I want 1 corridor.
Clean ones of each unit type and 1 corridor. And then one other thing is, what are we doing about the entrance to the property?
I haven't even got.
Absolutely. I haven't even got there yet.
Very important.
Okay. But the sense of arrival is critical. Let me just put it like that as a caveat. So you're going to excuse me, because if I don't eat with my wife, I'm going to get divorced. But while I just wanted to share with you quickly. Have you ever seen a Neolith kitchen?
That's awesome. What is that now? Holy crap!
It's sintered block, which is made in Spain. It's called the Size, which is the product. It's called Neolith. It's stronger than granite and it's stronger than marble, and then you can put the actual cooking straight into the actual top.
That's amazing.
Are you an architect?
No, my wife is an interior architect.
Oh, that's what it
If you
was.
look at that,
I knew there was some talent in there somewhere. You know, something's going on.
so if you have a look across the house, I think you can get an idea.
That's awesome.
And then
I love contemporary stuff.
Turn on a light. Yeah, contemporary. I'll turn on a light for you here. And then you can have a look at a staircase detail and concrete, which I don't think you guys build there.
Very cool.
It's looking nice, Jared?
Did you build this house, or are you remodeling a space?
We remodeled it, but it was the same architect that we always use. So they built it for someone else, and when the house came on the market, we bought it.
Good for you. Awesome.
And one last share, and then I'm saying goodbye, and I'll leave you on if Brendan, if you still need to. So this is an oak table.
Yeah.
Have a look at that.
That's awesome.
Beautiful, bro.
It weighs 1 ton.
When are you going to come to Greenville and see us?
Soon.
Soon. In the next 3-4 months, we'll be on a trip.
Absolutely.
Well,
I want to get into.
Let me do this though. Let me go ahead and send you the units right away.
Absolutely.
I need a little bit of time, a couple of days to work on the corridor, and then I'll send that to you separately. And then the third thing I'll do is next week I'm getting into the common building because I'm finishing up the units. Next thing I'll do is get into the entrances and what the entrance looks like, and get in.
Sounds fantastic.
Because we kind of had to jump in this thing, the handle drawings, and I haven't really had a time to really start it from scratch.
I know there's been a lot of pressure.
Rush. No, listen, I think you've made fantastic progress, and I think that if we just pay a little bit of attention to the finer details together, 1 or 2 tweaks to make differentiated kind of offerings, I think we'll make a fantastic building here.
I'm fired up about it. We want to do a great job for you, so let us know what we can do, and we'll do it. All right?
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, man.
Don't get divorced. That house is, you don't want to give up that house.
Goodbye.
Good night.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
A lot of fun,
and really knows his stuff. So,
well, I really appreciate that. I mean, and again, I've done a lot of housing things, but I'd like to look at it. We like to look at it from different points of view. It looks like he has really good taste, obviously, because his wife has really good taste, whatever. So they've done a great job. That house is spectacular.
No, the house really is
freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But
and in terms of this type of stuff, just to put it in perspective, he's built over 9,000 units in and around Johannesburg, Sandton area. So he really knows what sells and what people will rent, and how to make the space flow nicely. So his comments might be in terms of US useless. But maybe there's one or two things that
I agree with everything he said. I agree with you.
Yeah. And if we can, and it's all about how we're going to maximize the rental. So he comes from a mindset of a developer who's like, I need to be able to rent it, and I need to be able to sell it. So it needs to have that slightly differentiated feel that people feel like they want to be there. They don't feel scared to walk down a long dark corridor. They love the space that they're in. So that's why I wanted him on the call, because his knowledge of this stuff is way greater than mine. So
the only thing I would share with you too is that it's very easy to make a few of these adjustments on the drawings. I think we need to get it right.
Yes.
Because we can lease it and it's going to work good. And I'd rather take the time now and get these damn things right and get this thing done right than try to rush through some artificial deadlines that we're talking about. And I'm not talking about months. I'm just talking about an extra week here, extra week there to get it right.
Well, that's kind of why I wanted you to come see this, because it feels like no progress is being made. And then you have this conversation and
and there's lots of progress and there's small tweaks.
And my comment to you is, I can tell him to stop today. He is charging us by the hour. So the second you say stop,
well, I'm really cheap, so it's okay.
I'll tell him
it's an easy thing,
So we can leave it as is and call it good enough and get started, or we can take the time and really get it right.
Look, guys, the time we take today is going to save us on change orders and massive amounts of money later. So let's take the time today.
That's why I wanted you to come here so that you can see it and put your hands on it.
And I know we nag behind the scenes. What's going on with the drawings? What's going on?
We're busting our ass over here. You don't even see anything.
So Randy told us, and I don't think you would take offense to this, but we had lunch with Randy a month or two ago. He said, guys, they're the most impatient people you'll ever meet. They want it done today, and they're kind of mad at you that it's not finished. And I said, yeah, I get it. We feel that pressure every day too. And, I'm a taskmaster on the schedule, and I'm tired of looking like an idiot on emails with 80 people on it where I say, we'll be done on the 19th and we're not.
No, look, it's a development. If we don't have some hard deadlines that we have to stick to, we're never actually going to finish anything. So there's that balance between perfection and actually getting something done. So we want to push towards excellence, but at the same time get started.
And I think, we looked at the kitchen yesterday and we said, you know what, it could be better, but we can't make it any better. So we added counter space and we said, that's going to be good enough. And I think some of those compromises
we just have to say, this is now good enough and call it and then move forward,
There's going to be a certain point where I'm with you on the shower thing. I think
that's important.
It's a cost issue, and I think that the tub shower in this market will be good enough. Yeah, and could we do more if we were selling these for $300,000 a pop? Yeah, probably.
Well, are the other leasing folks that you're talking about? What's the name of that group?
Greystar.
Yeah, is Greystar saying we have to have tubs? Because to be honest with you, I haven't taken a tub bath. I 40 freaking years.
Exactly. So why are we still building them?
I don't know.
Well,
that's what they gave me, and I'll
do. The tub shower combo, because it's easy to install. I mean, there's not a lot of work, and it's cheap, and you can sequence it really easy. And Brendan and I could do it in a week.
Yeah.
Installing a tub doesn't take a lot of work, whereas if you build up a curb and you're tiling it and all that stuff is.
Do you agree with my idea though of not having a curb in the shower?
Yes.
I don't know how it works. I'm not smart enough to conceptualize that.
Well, it's like this. What you're doing right now is you have a wood subfloor and you're coming in and putting 2.5 inches of concrete on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm saying in the area of the shower, what you do is you create a depressed slab like this. And you've got your drain here, or drain body is there. But that allows you to take the tiles then sits on top of the slab here. Well, actually, you don't have tiles.
Is that now formwork, or is that going in and saw cutting the concrete?
No, you just form it in.
Form it in
when you pour the slab. And then what you can do, then you simply just then you can slope your tile. That's exaggerated. But then you have, inside your shower, you have basically the water here, hits here, it runs to the drain, then run out here. Well, the problem with that is if some idiot stops that up, the water can run this way. The only thing that's good about a curve is it gives you some protection.
I like the beach access thing. It gives it a much easier feel. People don't trip over it.
Exactly. And it's a hassle to clean, and it's a hassle to build, and all that shit. So I would rather have just as you mentioned, beach access. And I talked to John about this. He was okay with it.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I think that's actually
pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
And then you have a shower surround with tile.
I think it's worth, and it's not going to slow the MVPs down. It's worth having a conversation with Triangle and Jim just see what the delta is, and we can make that decision.
The only thing I'm saying though is this: if you put showers, then you gotta form and block that out. But it's going to be the same dimension on every one of these things. It's going to be easy to do. You're just going to get the rhythm of doing them. It's going to do them. If you put a tub in there,
I'd rather pay the labor on the concrete guy than have to go cut the slab back out and build curbs and all that.
I mean, that's forming.
Yeah.
So this is just blocks, pour it, form like that.
Because we're pouring concrete on top anyway.
And then are we going to do a screeded surface here where you don't have to put tiles, or are you going to put tiles on this?
We were going to just leave it as a concrete surface.
Just leave it as a concrete surface. I love that.
We call it steel trial finish.
Yeah.
Finish.
We call it a screed finish. So
that's what you call it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
That's it. And that's what we.
I'm happy with that. And the size of here, is there no way we could do a bath and a shower, like a small square shower in one of those bathrooms, in just the main bathroom, for example?
In this one, you could.
Do you need it though?
That's what. Do we need it? I want to ask Graystar on Tuesday. Do we need it? Will we get a higher rent if we've got it or not?
And that's the question, because this is a for rent product, not a for sale. So on a for sale, you get one bite of the apple, right? You either sold it or you didn't. On the for rent, the question is,
are you going to get an extra $50 a month for it all?
Yeah, if I'm already paying you $1,200, can I really pay you $1,250? And is that tub shower combo?
What does the difference? What does the other mill have at the moment? The one across the road.
Are you talking about
Brandon
Mill?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I don't want to tell you wrong. I would guess garden tubs, farmhouse style.
So from my humble opinion,
I think that's a cool idea, and I don't think anybody else in Greenville.
But this is only going in the. It
would replace every single tub.
Oh, is this every tub?
Well, no. You could do that in the master.
In the master bedroom, and then you've got the tub in the second one. That makes a lot more sense.
That makes sense to me.
Because then you've got the bath. If you've got small kids, you've got the choice, and then they can have a shower when they get slightly older because you've got the bath.
How do we handle the A's?
Your call. You can make it a shower or make it a tub. Just decide.
Okay, let's talk about it. I think that's a great idea.
I think this is good in the main bedroom, and then the second bedroom we do the bath shower combo with the plug-in unit.
Okay.
Much better.
I like that.
Cool, guys.
Okay.
Yeah. And the good thing about that doesn't really change plan, but we really need to start talking about some of these details that are really marketable. So we get those things and talk about it. You talked about whether you do a wire shelf. What we have specified today, we talked about just doing a wire shelf over the washer dryer, and then in the closet we have a wire shelf with a rod. This is a combination you can put in. We can put a millwork shelf in there too.
Yeah, and that's easy.
That's y'all's call.
That doesn't have to be spec'd or figured out. I mean, that is.
It's not going to be much of a cost differential on those.
You look and see, and you say, I would, again, I'd put that on the list for Graystar on Tuesday and say, what do you want?
Yeah.
I don't want you to blame us because you can't lease units,
But I just think, what I'm trying to be is logical on if I'm going to rent a unit for myself, what do I want to see when I walk in there? Do I want some shelf space for my T-shirts and some hanging space for suits and pants and stuff? Yes, I do. So the problem is when I walk into one of these houses, and I've done a lot of single family homes in Atlanta, and they all have the bath shower combo, and they got this single shelf at the top with a little rod underneath, and it's not nice. It's it's not cool. You've got no drawers. You've got no shelving for T-shirts. You've got nothing. You actually have to bring in your own furniture to make up that difference. So
in Greenville, we don't wear T-shirts.
So I'll tell you. So
what the hell? What's wrong with that?
In my house where I live, my master bathroom, it's a tub shower, but it's built into a granite surround. So it's got a very
it's got a cool feel.
It's a high finish feel for a tub shower. It's deep as shit. I have a hard time getting in and out because I'm just not tall enough to do it. And then instead of just having a shower head coming out of the wall, they actually ran it up and dropped it on the ceiling. So you have a rain head.
Okay. So it feels cool.
There are ways to class it up, but I think this is probably
This is the way to go. We do this in the main bedroom. have the bath shower combo in the spare bedroom, and we'll sort it.
The thing I think we ought to do then with what we're talking about is really again we'll clean up the units. I'll work on the hallway, work on the front entrance, and then I think we need to have a meeting and really talk about all these finishes. I mean, because I'd like to know what you want us to try to do, and then we can tweak the units and make them really good.
Well, and you know,
it's a good time because I haven't done any much detail on this, and we can change it into a shower or a garden tub, whatever you want. Well, not a garden tub. Garden tub is 3 feet wide. We'll do 2'6" because of the clearances we're working with an 88.
Yeah.
So if you guys can think through all those details, and I'd like to just, when you're having the discussion, I'll sit down with you, we'll take notes and just say, okay, this is what we're doing.
Well, I mean, you know, so I was here yesterday and we're sort of talking through some of the livability. How do I get from my bathroom? So,
and we're making those changes
right
now.
So, I mean, it's an ongoing conversation. You know, I wanted Ken to just sort of show you so that you can feel comfortable that
I'm feeling better.
Like,